Hey everybody, welcome to the Gray and Day Show. It's new, it's fun, it's our pilot show, and my name is Matt Day. I'm very excited to be here, and with me is...
Tracy Gray, and neither one of us are pilots, even though we're having a pilot show.
If you're a pilot, don't be critical. We don't really know
That's
what we're
right. I'm related to a couple of pilots, and
You
then
see
you've
Tracy
flown
at-
in a plane.
That's right. I've seen planes. I haven't flown in one yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
I've seen them. I've seen pictures of planes.
That qualifies you.
You've seen Tracy Gray before on television, and
That's
you've heard her
right.
on the radio.
And Matt is a very talented musician, MC, and speaker.
Oh, stop it. Well, say a few more things, and then...
Yeah, just a few more.
Just a
You're like,
couple
oh no, no more, really, I can't. And yeah, we wanted to just kind of lighten the mood. It's been so negative and depressing and difficult the last couple of years. We wanted to bring something fun and entertaining for you to enjoy.
We all need to have a bit of a fun experience. You know, Tracy and I put a show together a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Just as we were getting into the pandemic. Oh, did I say the word?
Yes.
What happens if we say words like that,
Yeah,
Tracy?
the P word is a bad one. And then also, we're not going to say the COVID word because...
And if you do...
See, as soon as you
get the
do,
buzzer.
and then you get that one for pandemic too.
Absolutely.
No negative words on this show. That way, we're gonna completely avoid them and give you a free show. See,
But what
I
if we
didn't
say a
even
positive
the
word? Positive words
Yeah,
are okay.
then you get rewarded.
You get the rewards.
Ta-da!
So you can see us on grayday.ca. And I was saying we got into this during the... Because we just felt that there was a need to do things virtually. And there was. We've had a lot of work virtually, lots of different shows.
Okay, that was close.
It was close.
I got ready.
Yeah, I was silent though. And we wanted to bring this to you as we move out of this time, just have some fun. So that's what this whole show is all about. We'll talk about lots of different things on this show. We have
Yeah.
a bunch of different segments.
That's
It'll be
right.
good.
We got some
We're gonna have
great
fun.
segments coming up, and the very first one is one that we both really enjoy because I love puns.
Pun of the day. We'll always have a pun of the day. Send us your puns. We'd like to know which ones you think are funny. I like this one here.
Okay.
Where do bad rainbows go to be punished, Tracy?
I don't know. Where did bad rainbows go, Matt?
Prism. Prism.
Can I
Yeah.
bad buzz?
No, bad buzz are bad.
It's a bad one.
It's a good one.
Actually, I've got a rainbow story for you.
Really?
So my kids and I, when my boys were really young, we were driving along and saw a big rainbow. And the kids wanted to see where the rainbow ended and if there actually was a pot of gold there. So we drove along, followed the rainbow, and we found out where the rainbow ended. Do you
Where
wanna
was
know?
it? Ireland?
Right over Walmart.
Walmart.
Walmart was at the bottom of the rainbow. So
Well, with
that
little
kind of
kids,
is
it
a pot of gold,
it is.
right?
It absolutely is.
I know I've spent certain amounts of pots of golds in the Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart owners, I'm sure, make lots of pots of gold. So really, if you think about it, and then that's a favorite chocolate of yours too.
Yeah,
you can buy at
every
Walmart.
year, every 10 years actually, I buy my wife a box of pot of
10.
gold chocolates.
She can enjoy one chocolate a year.
Yeah, well, a couple of year. So she's worth it, though. I think it's important that she gets treated well. The end of the... Where did that ever come from, pot of gold? I guess after 2017 in Canada, it leads to pot. Also, legally, it can lead to pot.
It's legally
not just pot of gold.
available for pot now.
But back in the
Canada.
day, when you've got kids, Walmart is... I mean, that's a lifesaver.
That's right.
Because you can pick the kids up the next day. They had fun. There was food there. Washrooms, they were safe.
So you just
Security.
leave them overnight?
Well, I didn't leave them on purpose. No, but they got to know the security guards very well. Yeah. Kevin was one guy. He's an amazing guy. He always comes for Christmas dinners now.
Now, in no way are we saying to leave your kids at Walmart overnight.
Do not do that.
That is
Bad
not
dad
recommended.
points.
That is a bad dad point.
Bad dad points.
That's right. You definitely get the buzzer for that one.
We're going to do something called Ticker Talk. So,
Yes.
Tracy, tell us a little bit about Ticker Talk.
So it's stories that are quite prevalent in the news right now, and of course we're doing a positive angle on them, just because it's something that everybody's talking about. And so right now, absolutely, the first thing that we have to talk about Ticker Talk is the convoy that has been making its way across Canada. It's currently in Ontario, and this has made international news.
Convoy, of course, coming from a Spanish word meaning many trucks. That's a lie. I just made that up. It sounded good, though.
It sounded
But
official. I
is.
would have believed it.
It's massive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And,
Record-breaking.
Record-breaking for the longest convoy. And then it's also made international news because the United States are now looking at doing one of their own. And then over in Europe, they're already
Copycats.
talking about organizing one. And I think why it's made such major international news, well, obviously, especially after the last couple of years, this is a hot topic. It's a hot button for everybody for this convoy and what they stand behind. But I think one of the bigger things that made it international is Canada never complains about anything. Everybody in Canada is so nice. And we just go, okay, I guess so. And then we apologize for everything, say we're sorry. So for Canada to put their foot down and take a stand and make this big convoy, it made the other countries have a double take and go, Canada's upset about something?
I'm sure we'll apologize eventually.
Right? Like if Canada's pissed off about this
must be really bad.
Got to be something that's really big and really bad.
But just so you know, all those convoys, whether it's in Europe or in the United States, they're not all coming to Ottawa. They are going to their own cities at home.
That would be a little difficult.
Imagine that.
That'd be a very long convoy.
But look at this. I mean, this is courtesy of Steinbeck Online. Thanks for the video. Amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So many trucks and people in so many places, and I hope that it's mostly peaceful. I hope it's a for the most part. Sometimes these things, but
absolutely
amazing. Minus 30 people coming out and doing their thing, and that guy was honking.
Sounds
pretty
like
close.
you were talking about the people are minus 30. And like in age, they're under 30. So minus 30 weather, because that's what we get here in Canada.
You have to be
and yet
under
we still
30
don't complain. You never hear us complaining about it.
I was thinking though the other day, Tracy, that it would be better if it had been a food truck convoy.
That's a good
right?
idea.
All food trucks from around the world show up in Ottawa, and all the food you could eat, walk down out of your office, and you've always gone to Tim's, now you can go down to the food truck.
That's actually a good idea, but you could run into problems with that, especially if they're driving along the Trans-Canada Highway doing like 110, and somebody needs that Fat Frank. So can I get a jumbo dog?
Whipping the hot dog out. Did you ever eat those hot dogs at a Canadian Tire?
No.
I also take my wife there for our
Does
anniversary.
Canadian Tire have hot dogs?
Right out front. Fat Frank's is the guy.
Yes, yeah.
So she gets a pot of gold, and she also gets to go to Fat Frank's after on her 10 year. Every 10 years, I take her there.
But Fat Frank's isn't out in front of the Canadian Tire in minus 30 weather.
Yeah, well, they have lawn chairs at Canadian Tire. We set a couple lawn chairs. It's a nice anniversary.
In warmer temperatures.
She shouldn't complain.
She sounds very spoiled.
And you know who shouldn't complain is the Oilers shouldn't complain. Our next ticker talk is about the Edmonton Oilers. Last night, I would call it a 5 no losing streak.
Oh,
right? Can I say that?
You would call it that? I don't know.
It's not a winning streak, but it's a 5-0 losing streak, which is good for us in Alberta here.
Yes, that's very good. And it showed your dedication to writing the show, though, because we were writing the show while the game was on last night. And I know you were wanting to watch it. And so we actually paused our meeting and then finished watching the game.
I took the computer downstairs. So you're talking to Darlene, yeah.
Tied in overtime with the Senators. And my husband and I are watching it, and then we're on a Zoom chat with Darlene and Matt, and we are like, no! And the last goal came in. Senators got the last goal. They were still waiting. They didn't see it. I didn't wreck it. I think that I would like to say that
she's on cable. I'm on internet. It's 30 seconds behind, so they're like costing, and they're brushing their teeth heading off to bed, and I'm wondering what's going on.
I'd like to say it was the Oilers losing the game that wrecked it for us.
You wrecked our show.
But then also cable wrecked it for you, because our cable came through a good 30 seconds.
A lot of millennials are wondering
before you got it online.
What is cable?
That's right. Yeah. So for the millennials out there, this is a thing that us Gen Xers just can't let go of in some cases.
Yeah, it actually came in on a wire in your house, kids. It was amazing.
But in this case, that benefited us because we were actually able to see the end of the game before you were. Although it would have been nicer if it was a little better end of a game.
Well, they are doing better. Evander Kane seems to be bringing some energy as well.
Yes, the new player on the team. However, there's quite a bit of controversy behind that, but we're not talking negatives.
We don't say negative things.
That's right. We're going to say positive things, or at least have a new player. So we'll see how that works out.
So one of the things, though, is going back to cable, rabbit ears. Again, you millennials, you have no idea. If you're 50 plus, you know what rabbit ears. Did you have rabbit ears?
Oh, yeah, we had rabbit ears. And they were antennas that stuck out of this massive box that we called the TV. And you would always force someone in your family to have to stand and hold the rabbit ears for the entire show. That's through commercial breaks, too.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another thing millennials don't have to put up with.
And they don't have, in that day, you had to wait for your show. MASH would come on at 7 o'clock on Monday night, right? So you had to wait. You couldn't just watch it whenever you wanted. No. You had to prepare, wash your dishes. Everything was organized around that.
That's right, yeah. Destination TV, where you had to be sitting in front of it or you missed it. And everyone would be talking about it the next day because it was going to be a week before another one of the episodes came out. And you may not even see the whole show because depending on how your rabbit ears are tilted, you might not get the proper reception, depending on the family member, how grumpy they were.
Rabbit ears came out of what a title. How would that actually? It's such a weird thing. Anyway, getting back to the Oilers, the last goal was great. It was, and people are like, Koskinen. Even your husband's like Koskinen. But come on, that was a great
goal. No, it was not great.
Stützle had that little spot to shoot for. We can't throw Koskinen under the bus, right?
Well, Okay.
We can't throw him under the bus.
Well, no, we don't want to throw him under the bus.
No.
Because that's a very strange saying.
It is.
And it sounds very fatal.
Yeah.
And so that brings us to our next segment, which is praises for phrases. Although this one, I don't know if it gets a praise because that's a weird saying.
It's a weird saying.
Did somebody actually get thrown under a bus?
Well, they all had to come from somewhere. You know, all the sayings started somewhere. So yeah, who is that person?
Who is that person?
If that was you, send us a note.
Like, did somebody in history have to actually physically get thrown under a bus?
Yeah, it's horrible.
For that saying to come about. So if you know where that came from.
It's pretty negative. I mean, it could be maybe throw under the bike. Would be nicer. Or throw under
That's right, because then at least, you have a chance of making it out the other side.
Yeah.
You might, have like an injured arm or, just your ego taken down by by being hit by a bike.
What are some phrases that you don't understand, you don't like, or maybe you love them? Send us a note. What are your favorite phrases? We want to talk about them.
Yeah, and if you know the history of that one, or here's another one too.
Last legs.
That's right, the last legs, because you were showing me this lovely plant of yours, and I was saying how I had one gifted to me because I love plants, and these are succulents, and they need a very dry soil. So I had a family member that had one that was on its last legs because they had actually used dirt from their backyard. And in Canada, we have a lot of clay that doesn't work good with succulents.
Not succulents.
And so it was on its last legs, which then we were actually saying it was on its last roots. But where did the term last legs
I've had that for 2 years.
from?
When we started doing shows, I bought that thing. I haven't killed it yet.
No, see, so it's not on its last legs.
It's nice. You can drink out of that cup.
It's
Hopefully
not.
Another one I like, though, is... and I guess this is, but it's not my first rodeo. So this is our pilot show. So it is technically our first rodeo.
That's right.
But that's a weird saying, isn't it?
It's such a weird saying because somewhere in history, somebody said, well, it is my first rodeo.
Had to be your first rodeo somewhere.
Somewhere. Somebody had a first rodeo somewhere, and that's where it came from.
Like Jimmy on Yellowstone. That would be his first rodeo.
That's right.
But after he goes to the other ranch, not his first rodeo.
It's not his first rodeo. And then when we do another show, this won't be our first rodeo either. So if you know where that phrase comes from, put that in the comments.
All our shows, we like to run them straight, start to finish, without a lot of edits or any edits if we can. So, but sometimes it is our first rodeo. We might have to edit a few things out. Language, probably, Tracy, on your
That's right.
On your part.
That's right. But thank you for not mentioning the words that we're not supposed to be mentioning.
We haven't done it yet.
And then we'd like to move along to a segment called Gray Matters, because I'm gray, he's Matt.
You like that?
Ers.
That's good.
That's right. And it's stories that we find inspirational in our lives, whether we read about them online or we hear about them from people we know or stuff that's happened to us. A friend of mine just posted on Facebook that he was picking up some boots. They had got a zipper repaired on them, and when he went to get them, it was from a mom and pop shoe repair store. They don't take any type of credit cards, not even debit. So he's standing there needing to pay $40.
They have rabbit ears probably, don't they?
Yeah, probably had rabbit ears on their tube TV. And so he looks, there's a lineup behind him. He looks at the lady right behind him. He said, "You go ahead. I have to go get some money." So wanders down the street, finally finds a bank machine where he's able to get some money, comes back to get them. By then, the lady that had been behind him had paid for his boots. So when he went to go get them, they were already paid for.
Oh, come on.
And no name, didn't know who it was or anything like that, total stranger. And she just said, if he could just pay it forward.
That's
Isn't
lovely.
that nice? I got goosebumps.
That is
just
lovely.
telling that story. So, and that's, the small things that can make a big difference like that.
And I'm hearing lots of stories like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a 7-Eleven just paying for some gas. My receipt didn't print, so I had to go in and get the receipt. And there's a girl in front of me, and she's got this dyed hair, and she's kind of looking cool and stuff like that, like a millennial, right? Or whatever. Is that 18, 17?
Yeah.
Kind of, that's that age?
Sure.
And these other kids come in, and they had scraped up all their money, and they bought the day-old donuts. And they went to the front to pay for the day-old donuts, and they were like $1 short. And so they can't buy the donuts. And so this girl that I judged for having purple hair and 9,000 whatever, she goes up and she says, "I got this." And she pays for these kids donuts.
Aww.
And so when she left the store, I went out. So then she bought her stuff. She went out and she met her mom out in the parking lot. And I went up to the girl and I said, I saw what you did in the store. And she was, I don't know, she was going to be worried about it.
Nice.
I just said to the mom, I said, "Your daughter took care of those kids, Bill, and she didn't have to." I said, "If there's more people doing that kind of stuff during this pandemic time," oops. But it was worth it. It was worth it, right? But if there was more people doing that, I said this world would be a lot
We need
better
more
place.
stories like that.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots. Be that.
And so to both of those people,
Blue buzzer of joy.
that's right. Thank you for doing that. And then also thank you to the people for sharing those stories because we need to hear them.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your stories. Send in some information. Send in some notes to us. We'd like to hear more of
Did you
those.
call that the buzzer of joy?
That's the blue buzzer of joy.
Okay, so it's got a
The
name
orange
now.
buzzard of aggression.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, that's
It makes
fun.
me want to hit that right now. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we're going to wrap things up with one last story. It's called Fun and Done, and so that means we do one more fun story, and then we're done.
And this is true. This happened yesterday. We were doing our meeting online. Tracy gets this.
Yeah, so I got
Letter.
the mail in, and it's a Christmas card, which February 1st, right? We were like,
It's
how late in the year before you can stop getting Christmas cards?
Well, not that late for Ukrainian Christmas. My friend is Ukrainian, and they had Christmas on the 6th, I think,
Yeah.
or 6th or 7th of January. So it's only 3 weeks late if your friend was celebrating Ukrainian Christmas.
Okay, well, there you go. So, and obviously a lot later for regular Christmas. Regular Christmas.
Can we say that? It's all good. All Christmas.
Christmas that I
however,
celebrate.
Whenever you celebrate it is fine.
That's right. Oh, I almost got the negative buzz around that one. So, so for Christmas, how long in the year is it okay to get Christmas cards? Now, for me, I could celebrate Christmas all year long. I can listen to Christmas music in July, like it's all good for me. But I know people that like the day Christmas is done, no more Christmas music. They don't want to hear it
I'm
anymore.
a musician, so the day Christmas is done, no more Christmas music.
Yeah. Okay.
When I first started playing Christmas music, it was in West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
And I take my keyboard in there. They didn't ever turn the music off. And I'm playing like White Christmas, and it was by the Sea Lions.
Yeah.
And the Sea Lions are barking, and Bing Crosby's singing, and I'm trying to play. And this little girl goes by on a shopping cart with her mom. And she looks at me and looks at her mom and says, "It's so sad about that man, Mummy." I'm just sitting there.
Nobody listening.
But you know you made it, right? When you play in front of the Sea Lions.
At West Edmonton Mall.
Arr, arr, arr. Wow. So yeah, when Christmas is over, Christmas music is...
So when you become the spectacle over the Sea Lions.
Right. Yeah. I did learn to balance the ball on my face, though. That
Nice.
was a good skill.
Yeah, it's always good to have
Okay,
skills like
so
that.
you got this
Okay.
in the mail.
Yeah, so I got this Christmas card and I loved it. These are really nice friends of mine. They're super sweet, and it's so nice to get this Christmas card from them. So yeah, it's later on in the year, but I love it. I could get Christmas cards. I might start doing that. Why not send Christmas cards?
So you
over?
haven't even opened it yet. You
I
actually
haven't even
saved
opened
it for the show.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to open it now?
I want you to open it.
All right.
We need some Christmas music, but it's not Christmas time, so I'm not playing nothing.
That's
for you.
right. Yeah, for
that's
anybody
nice.
who's tired of hearing Christmas music, look at it. It says Merry
Aw.
Christmas. Isn't that sweet? And I love it.
Do you always
I
hope
keep
that
these coming.
the check falls out?
Oh,
Kind of always.
isn't that nice? Look at it. So, may the
Lovely.
magic of the season be yours. Hope you and the boys are all well. Fondly.
Lovely.
That's right.
Nice
From
to
my
have
friends
friends, yeah.
Karen and Ken.
Karen and Ken, you
Yeah.
get this, the blue buzzer of joy.
That's right. And they're
Yeah.
down in the States, so I don't get to see them.
And they
And
wrote a little
so,
letter as
yeah,
well.
look at
So we're not
this.
maybe going to read the whole letter, but
Well, and you don't get a lot of that anymore.
No.
This used to be more common for Christmas, where people would send little updates on how their family are. But now with social media, a lot of people just rely on that. And I've definitely leaned that way. I used to send out Christmas cards. It was like 70, 80 cards I would send out at Christmas every year. And I was like, oh, but all that stuff's on social media. So even I started kind of relying on it. But this is so nice. I look forward to
maybe if
sitting
it had
down
been
and reading
81
this.
cards, I might have got one from you, Tracy.
That's
Just saying.
No, you're not getting one. You're not getting one.
But do you? What do you do? Do you prefer? Do you send? How many of you send this
Heart.
out? Send us a little note. How many of you actually still send out a letter?
That's right.
I like that. And how many of you would actually handwrite like a full-on letter, not just sign your name, but actually handwrite a
Yeah,
letter?
I
handwrite a
love
note?
that. Handwritten cards, handwritten letters. This is so nice. You don't see that
That's
very
beautiful.
often. So, where can we put that?
Well, it's a little bit
there.
like eating. How late in the season can you eat Halloween candy?
That's
Like,
right.
Can you still, if you still have some in January, can you still eat
I
Halloween
can
candy?
because I used to always hide my Halloween candy. My mom would eat it. When we would be at school, she would go through our Halloween candy and eat all the
Really?
chocolate out of it. She'd eat all our favorite candy. So I'd come home and I'd be like, I don't remember eating all the chocolate bars, but
One of my
so I
sisters.
would hide it and then I would eat it all year.
Where would you hide it? Where
in
your
my
hiding
room.
spot?
But she
found,
admitted
yeah.
years ago that she found my hide. She would wait till we were at school. Mom. She would hide it. We would work so hard on Halloween.
You know what your mom gets for that?
Together that's
Yeah,
right.
she
Yeah.
gets the-
You give her that
She gets
buzzer.
the orange
That's
buzzer of
right, Mom.
aggression.
But I do love my mom, so we can't totally.
It all balanced out.
It all balances out. That's right.
That's so funny. I have a sister who, for jokes once in a while, she'll take a really nice box of chocolates and just bite the bottom out and put it back. So when you go take the chocolate, the bottom's gone. She'll do that with donuts. She will buy for her friends the whole thing of Tim Hortons donuts and take a bite out of every one of the bottom.
No,
that is
that's
not
terrible.
friendly, is it?
That's
I
not
didn't say
friendly.
the word.
That's not friendly.
So it's pretty funny, though.
But my brother would do that too, except for with KFC. We would get a bucket of KFC
really?
for the family. And what he would do is any chicken that didn't get eaten that night, he would peel the skin off of it and eat the skin and then put it back in the fridge. And so that way he would go to eat the Kentucky Fried Chicken. When you looked in the bucket, all the skins were gone. And that's the best part.
It's the best part.
The KFC, that's the best
11
part.
herbs and spices right there. Do you ever have chicken on the way?
Yeah, we used to. Well, this is along your food truck line.
Yeah, that was like the advent of food trucks.
Yeah, because you know what? Food trucks had this whole Uber Eats, skip the dishes long before it happened. They could have just delivered door to door.
Yeah. Why didn't
They got everything right there in the truck. They could just drive it. They could have taken over that whole realm.
I think you can't have 9 canisters of propane at over 60 kilometers an hour, or something like that. It's not
weird,
good.
right? You think you
So
should
the
be
guy
able to,
who
because
cooked, he would
Chicken on
actually,
the Way used to.
They cook the chicken and show up at your door.
So when I was growing up, there was a company called Chicken on the Way, and it was like Kentucky Fried Chicken, except for it was in a big truck, and they would cook it on the way to your house. So Chicken on the Way, they would show up with like burn marks from all this splattered grease.
They would cook it on the way.
They would
literally.
cook it on
I thought
the
they
way.
actually made it and brought it.
No, they would cook it on the way. And then they would even open the back of the truck and you could see all the fryers and stuff like that in there. So the concept, maybe not great as far as safety wise. I'm sure that's why it was shut down, but it was good chicken. It was worth it.
Cook it
Worth it.
on the way. And we can't even, that's distracted driving, ain't it?
Bandaged up. Here's your chicken.
Get pulled over for that. But then if the police officer liked to have, food, you could then bribe. We're not suggesting to bribe.
No, we are not
that's
suggesting to
funny.
bribe. Because then you would get the buzzer.
You would definitely get the buzzer.
Well, I think on that note, that's a good time to wrap up. Our show will be on its way now. That was our fun and done. But we're super happy that you joined us. I'm Tracy Gray. This is
Matt Day. I didn't know you were going to say it, but yeah, sometimes I forget my name, and that's okay. Because it's
That's
not
okay.
about
We
my
need
name.
name tags.
It's not about me. Hello, my name is. Go to greatada.ca. Check out our site. We do lots of fun stuff there, and you can send us a note, email through there, or again, send us a note through Instagram or on Facebook or on the comments if you're watching this on the YouTube.
greata.ca. That's where you can find us. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.